It's time for your daily crypto update with Framework Fortune Crypto. I'm your host, Ben, so let's not waste any time and dive right in. The weekend was looking pretty good for the crypto market, bouncing up, but all of a sudden today, Bitcoin kind of nosediving, and this has been happening here the last little while. This is a 2-hour chart. Now the yellow line is the price. Normally I'm used to using candlesticks, but I decided to switch to a line chart for now and test this out because I've never used a line chart to trade with. Oh, it's only been candlesticks. So anyway, we can see where it bounced on the 2-hour back here off of the trend line twice. So it has a chance to bounce again, but it's got to do it now. It's sort of bouncing, but where this 10-day, the green line is crossed over the blue, the 50-day, it's looking a little bearish on this 2-hour chart. Let's go into bearish on the 1-hour, bearish there on the 15-minute. But on the 15-minute, we can see a clear double bottom. So that looks like it may hold up. We'll see where Bitcoin is at by the end of the stream. We'll check back on it because this is all just kind of happening here in the last little bit, like I was saying. But very close to a trend line crack. Definitely a test happening at the moment. And pretty much all across the market, it's kind of turning red. Proppy, Pro, this one we were looking into last week. Just hit Coinbase not too long ago. But is a real estate NFT learning platform and transaction platform, which is, I think, a start to something really big with NFTs, where we'll see an exchange from the old ways of doing things to this now more efficient way with NFTs and cryptocurrencies. But Proppy just bouncing hard here in the last couple of days from that 129 all the way up to 370. Still pushing at the moment. Let's see. So on the 15-minute, it is bullish right now. So break of these previous peaks, this peak at $4, we could see Proppy, Pro or whatever pop up to 450. This may actually be a potential day trade. We'll see. So I'll have to keep an eye on that one as well. Put on the pink right now, but that is a top gainer. Request had a nice little jump there. I think it's called Request. It's REQ. Moving from 29 cents up to 41 cents. Little head and shoulders pattern there. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Now selling off. So this will probably continue to sell off even though it was up some. It may come down and test this 200. Not really any support on this 15-minute anywhere back here for it to hold at. If the green line, the 10-day, crosses the 50-day, then it's definitely going to come down to the 200. So if you are watching that, you could possibly see a bounce. Let's see the daily chart here. Take that line off. That looks crazy. Yeah, so on the daily chart, this had a double bottom too. A little bottom there, bottom there. If the 10-day, the green line crossed back over the 50-day in the next few days, then this could start turning bullish again. See back here, when the green crossed over the blue, the 10-day crossed over the 50, had that nice big spike. Hasn't done that since. It's went down and pulled back under it. So we'll see what happens if that can break. Other than that, not too much else going on. Cody having a bounce today. There's actually a little clear wedge pattern. You can see it. Draw the downtrend there. And it's testing this wedge pattern. Whoops. Right now. However, the 10-day is still down here below the 50, so we'll probably see a rejection off of there before Cody can try to break out again. So I would say it's about done for the day, actually. What's up, Mike B? How's it going, buddy? Yeah, look at the red all starting to happen. Let's check Ethereum. Take these lines off here. Okay, this is going to be a very important area for Ethereum to hold up at. If the 10-day crosses below the 200-day, then that is going to be pretty bearish signal. See, it hasn't done that. Even back here when we had this big pullback, the 10-day was still above the 200, the red line. It bounced right there. So if it doesn't bounce, then Ethereum could crack, which would mean we'd see maybe some support at 2,800, but I think 2,500 would probably be the first area that would really hold up, because this will probably dump pretty hard if it does crack. Maybe even 2,000 back to this previous line of support. So Ether and Bitcoin both looking like they're ready to drop. This is Ethereum on the 15-minute. And you can see it is below all the EMAs. The 200's at the top, which is not what you want to see when the 200's higher than the other moving averages, the blue and the green. And that's pretty bearish. But it is a little bit overextended on the 15-minute. So it's trying to get back up there, but if it's going to have to, it's got a ways to go. Let me go on a higher time frame. Yeah, even there on the 1 hour, we're looking bearish. Let's see the 2. Oh, 2 hour looks extremely bearish on either. And so is the 4 hour. And the fact we just dropped below this previous peak here, that's a little concerning too. Yeah, we're either going to bounce today off of these areas, or Ethereum and Bitcoin are coming down. The good thing is Ethereum's still quite a ways above the trend line. Bitcoin, however, not so much. Oh, let's see. Bitcoin did start to do a little rebound there off that double bottom that was on the 15-minute. Yeah, so okay. So far, Bitcoin is trying to hold. That's a good sign on this 15-minute chart, but we got to see all the EMAs align back the way they're supposed to. The opposite of this, where the 50 days above the 200 and the 10-day is above the 50-day. So red, blue, green is what we want to see, not to the upside, not red, blue, green to the downside. End of the year prediction on Bitcoin. That's tough. The reason that's tough, last year my prediction was 75,000. It didn't quite get there. It got close to 70,000. So the fact that it didn't get to 70,000, and now we're at this point where we're testing this very important price level of support for Bitcoin. Then there's also the question, is Bitcoin losing dominance, market dominance, which I do think it is to some of the other blockchain projects like Ethereum and Atom and Avalanche, Solana, all these other blockchains that have a ton of apps developing on them. Apps and dApps, I should say. So I don't know. I think, looking at the chart, at the daily chart, at this wedge, if we bounce off here and we don't crack the downtrend, or the uptrend, because if we crack here, then the uptrend is broken. So until we start another uptrend, I don't have any idea what the price could be. But as long as it stays on this uptrend, then it would bounce. And about June, we would probably see about mid-year around 65,000. Now at that point, let me just get the highlighter and I can show it visually. So we'd see it do something like this up to this point if we don't crack here, right? If we crack here, it's going to go down, but if we continue to that point of this triangle, if we break 65,000 towards the end of the year, then I think we'll see 75,000 at the end of this year. Possibly 80. But the way that Bitcoin acted at 50,000, because we're still not even holding up 50,000 as support. We've broken through it, but every time we've not been able to hold above 50,000 for very long. This is when we broke 50,000 back here. That was February to May. So, 3 months above 50,000 there. And then right here was about another 3 months. So we've not even confirmed 50,000 as support yet. We haven't even confirmed 40,000 really as support yet, because 40,000 is right about where it's at, but it did drop below it on this previous dip and has dropped below it, or dropped to it almost where we're at now. So this will all depend, if we confirm those areas for this outcome to happen. But because 50,000 is such a naturally strong area, I think another 25,000 movement up to 75,000, that's a fair movement. But like I said, it's all going to depend on what happens here over the next week or two. Because my outlook on the first 3 months of this year was bullish. I'm expecting another altcoin bull run, which can still happen even if Bitcoin does crack. But it doesn't help when Bitcoin is yanking down hard, because it messes up a lot of the altcoin breakout patterns. Do I think the futures contracts well, no. Yes and no. The futures, essentially they do the same thing. Like if you're going long on a Bitcoin, on the actual coin, and you're long on a futures contract, then there's not really any difference. Both are going to be selling at a later price for a higher price. That's pretty much it. If the future contract is going short, or going against Bitcoin, then it's going to be the opposite. And it's to be the same thing with shorting. I just said shorting. Forgot what I said. Because there are ways to short cryptos. There's different exchanges that have, I guess, vessels you could say to short, and there's wrapped coins and stuff, that there's just a lot of ways to shorten the crypto market. So, I mean, I wouldn't see it being any different to where it would affect the price that much. It's all still supply and demand, whether it's a futures contract or any of that. So we know Bitcoin has a low supply. That's why it's the price it is. The question is whether demand will keep up for Bitcoin. And that's when we get into the Bitcoin market dominance. Because if demand starts dropping with interest in other projects, all these other blockchain projects, then it's no longer a question of the chart, really. It's a question of what is the price that people will be willing to pay for it, knowing that these other coins are taken away from the demand, simply as I can put it. So, I mean, this is what I'm still expecting. So as long as we hold, like I said, this week is going to be an important week. But if we bounce back up, then I would expect fully to get on to that area. Well, you got to look at Ethereum too, because Bitcoin and Ethereum, if you don't use this, it's the Altcoin Season Index. I don't know who put it together, but Liam from Confident and Crypto showed me this. Very nice. Yeah, no, don't translate to German. Very nice resource to have. And let's see, which time frame is this? This is just altcoin season in general. So we can see on the chart, Bitcoin's price has been going down, and the altcoins overall are still pushing up. Let's look at the month. Well, yeah, we can look at the month. But we've noticed, I mean, we can see that too with this list right here, the top 50 performances over the last month. Bitcoin is nowhere in there. Bitcoin is way down here. So we've got Osmo, which is a Atom ecosystem, a Cosmos ecosystem coin, up 121%. We have Near, whatever that is, up 100%. We have FTM up 99%. We have Atom up 67%. One up 45%. But none of them, and Luna's up a little bit too. So these altcoins have all performed better than Bitcoin this month. So the chart is showing that, where we're pointing up towards an altcoin month. So when you look at it at the year, we just broke over another peak. Every time we spike, we do have a pullback. So it may just be time for a pullback in general. Unless, this is going to break this consolidation, because this is a triangle. So if that is the case, we would be going into a hot altcoin market if it breaks to the upside of this consolidation. Which means, which goes back to, will Bitcoin drop because of the market, not market, but dominance. The dominance that's switching. But even if, that is the case, Bitcoin is losing dominance, that doesn't mean that it's going to crash down to zero or anything crazy. At some price, there's going to be buyers interested in it. If it does crack this trend line and continues to sell off, at what price do you think people are going to be like, oh, I want to grab some? If it was to even come down, maybe like 10,000 still doesn't sound good to you, but maybe it gets down to 5,000, 3,000, you're like, well, Bitcoin was up at 70,000 at one time. $3,000's actually not a bad idea when everybody starts thinking that. you know, they'll come buy it up. I don't know if $3,000 would be that price. I highly doubt it would. Even if it did lose dominance, I think 30,000, 20,000 to 30,000, that's kind of the new floor. But, I mean, you look at Bitcoin compared to Atom, which Atom did make a little triple top here the last 3 days. So it is possible, I'm going to take this line off, that we could see Atom have a pullback since it did make this triple top. It does have the 10-day and the 50-day 200 lined up where they're supposed to be. So as long as Atom's price stays above the 10-day, then we may see a breakout over this triple top. But if it can't, then Atom would probably come back down to 28, something like that, looking at the chart. But even if Atom was to have a huge pullback and come down to 25, that's still where the uptrend is, or right around that area. What's up, Hoy? Would make great TV, yeah. For sure. So some of the NFT market, Axie Infinity, you know, looking at it on the daily, looks pretty bearish. Axie is rejected off of $80 so far today. Let's check it on some of the lower time frames and see which direction it's going there. Yeah, so it's starting to crack below the EMAs. It's below them on the 2-hour chart. Below them there as well. Below them on the 15-minute chart. So we got to see Axie get back above all 3 EMAs on multiple time frames and re-break 80, or Axie's going to come down again. But looking at the 15-minute, we do have this little short-term uptrend at the moment that it may have just confirmed. So we'll see. Well, if this uptrend can carry on and break, actually can break that downtrend, actually would start turning bullish again. So that's another play that's like very close. Ooh, did that thing drop on me? Oh, I need to get out of this. 581. Let me check this. I was at a trade. I just forgot about it. Let's see. What is it? LQTY. Oh yeah, on that 15-minute, it dropped below. There's a little uptrend. Well, let me see. Let me put a stop loss in real quick. Before I continue on, because I don't want to lose any money here being stupid. Not having a stop loss in. You got to have your stop losses in. Got to stick to your plan. Whatever your trading plan is, stick to it. And do not... See, so I got the 579 stop max, place sell order. There we go. Alright. Gotta stick to that plan. You don't want to be getting hit there. But as long as this holds above the trend line, which is at 579, then I'm willing to hold it. I bought it at 591 a little while ago, right here off of this bounce. I was looking for it to bounce, but it got rejected off the 10-day. And then I started the stream right here at right about this time, looking for it to bounce off of that 50-day again, and it didn't. So it's got to hold the trend line. But if it can't, I'll be stopped out. No big deal. So anyway, I was just looking for, like, I don't even know what this is or anything. This was just a quick day trade. Yeah, look at that chart. Not a lot really going on with that chart yet. It's a new coin apparently. Came out on January 13th. Whatever LQTY is. Oh, right there's the trend line. Perfect. Yeah, so that's the trend line. Oop, and it just kind of popped below it a little bit there. But yeah, that's the trend line. Nice. Alright, so we'll see if this can hold up or not. But speaking of Axie, let's talk about Gods. Let's see. Oh, Steve, what was that? Steph Francis. What crypto is going to be the best thing to perform? I mean, that's, all speculation. Who knows what's going to be the top performer? And then how long are you talking about? The next top performer over the next week, the next month, the next year, the next 5 years? A lot of questions on there. Thoughts on DAO Maker? Well, yeah, Maker is an interesting one. It's just, I'm not a big fan of Maker just because of the price is already up there. Yeah, you see it's $2,000. But let's take a look. I haven't looked at the chart of Maker for a while. It's not, like I said, it's not one I keep up with. So here's the daily chart. Let's go into a weekly chart. Okay, so on the weekly chart, you can see where it went bearish and cracked below the 50-day. But the 10-day is still above there. So if it continues to drop, then it could drop all the way down to about 1,500 before it hits any support. Where it's at right now, there is some support at 2,000 right across. Right across. Let me grab these lines here. There we go. Right there. You see multiple little bottoms there where it bounced off, and then a little one that almost came down to there. So this will be a test, but Maker, if it doesn't bounce, that's gonna drop more. Gods, yeah, we'll get. That's what I was about to get to. Is Gods. Guys, know I gotta do my Gods analysis. Love me some Gods Unchained. Oh yeah, okay. Gods is right up here in the green. Nope, not that one. Wrong one. Okay. So let me go into a smaller time frame. Gods, since it's only been out since November. All right, maybe he won't bark again. I don't know. Oh, no, there he's starting again. Anyway, we can't look at a week chart because it's only been out since November. So it's not really, long enough to look at this and tell anything off of it. So we can probably go to our chart. That'll probably work. Yeah, actually, we can go to a 2-hour chart. Let's see that. Yeah, there we go. So I'm bullish on Gods, even with the market. And actually, even though Bitcoin has dropped and we just had that little drop, Gods is actually bouncing up. Hold on just a second. There. We'll keep that dog distracted with a bone. Okay, so I don't know what I was talking about. But anyway, this was my prediction last weekend. I thought maybe it would stay in those lines. But this line's not that important. It seems to be. We can take this one off at the moment too. So the low, the previous low was here. So we're making lower lows on Gods. So it has been very bearish since that first initial big pop. Gods, though, here in this past week basically, has formed a triple bottom here on the 2-hour chart. And if it continues to climb like it is, then all it has to do is just get back above the 200, which is at 350. So we did have a peak here, a peak here. This push that we're having is going to have to break over this first peak, though, before we even get to 350. So we've got 340. That is some strong resistance. So in the short term, I think Gods has a little bit of a fight, but not that much of a fight, because the selling on Gods, when you look at the volume, we've had a lot of selling since it hit the market. And these prices down here at $2, $3 obviously are looking good to somebody, because people are buying it up since it hit this 275 bottom there with that triple bottom. So as long as that buying continues to outweigh the selling, which I think it will, because the player base is continually exploding. Like, we are now over 80,000 players, but we're waiting on staking and governance and at those few more added value utilities of Gods token that is not there yet, but the Gods dev team is working on. But long term, at least in the next year or two, I'm pretty bullish on Gods, as long as the devs keep up the good work that they're doing. So it's very close to starting to go back bullish after this big long sell-off that we've had. Just needs a little bit more upward momentum. Get back over 4, and we could really see it climb up. Steph, you said short term. So, short term, you're looking like a swing trade of what's the best thing that's going to perform in the short term. Well, that's a good question. We got to be looking for those plays. What plays right now look like they're going to continue to go up? Gods possibly one. Axie, we don't know. Axie could bounce here, but it could also crack. Like, you just don't know. But if you got, here's the thing though. If I tell you what is going to be the best performer, how are you going to know what's going to be the best performer next time? Are you going to come back to the channel and ask me every single time? And then, if that's the case, what if I'm wrong? What I'm getting at is this is not the way to go about learning the markets and how to trade. The questions when you come into my live streams should not be, what should I buy or sell? The question should be, what do I need to know so I can know when to buy and sell things? Right? It's the old adage, lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink and all that. So you've got to be making your own decisions. You don't want to make the mistake of following other people. Like, the biggest, craziest thing right now that's going on still unbelievably, is Wall Street Bets groups thinking that AMC is going to recover and go back up to crazy prices because of this idea that they can somehow beat out the hedge funds and beat out Wall Street, which is where all the government officials' money is, right? I mean, we know this. From the president down, most, even your 401ks, is Wall Street. So you're taking on something that is not you're just playing. They're playing games right now with those people of AMC. But what I'm seeing though is they are believing hook, line, and sinker what other people are saying about AMC instead of doing their own research and learning about technical analysis. So what I would rather you ask me is, what do I need to look for to find the next big or the best gainer in the short term? So what you need to look for to find the best term short gainer or best short-term gainer is you need to look for the crypto with the most volume, the most people transacting in it, right? If there's no transactions happening, then the price isn't going to move. So like LQTY, which has now bounced back up. Did I get filled? Oh, you dirty. Yep. It hit my stop loss there and pushed me. And then immediately rebounded and came down and just hit my stop loss. But anyway, I've been trading LQTY a little bit today. And then the other one was... What was the other one I traded? Maybe this was LQT. Yeah. Yeah, okay. It is LQTY. So earlier I bought at 6:05 2 hours ago, and then not shortly after that I bought 150 at 6:05, and then it made a nice little bounce. I bought down in the bottoms of one of these bounces, but there's volume on it. This thing is moving. It's not just going flat and going sideways. We got spikes, plenty of places where you can see support. So this held as support. I'm not buying up here. I'm not buying up here. I'm not buying up here. These are all crazy places to buy at. You're going to buy at the top of the escalator. It's like you're getting on the escalator at the top of it and just jumping off. You know, you're not getting on the bottom. You want to be on the bottom of the escalator, riding it up to the top floor, not just jumping off of the top floor down to the bottom, right? So you got to have some upward momentum. You got to have support lines that are holding up. This held up back here as support. I might take an entry here. I might take an entry here. I might take an entry here. This right here, this little bounce that it just had at 575 would have been a better entry than what I had on it. So like just, you got to know and learn technical analysis, learn the crypto markets, and just markets in general, how they work, how they move. So this chart right now may look like a lot of lines. I do have some lines drawn on here, so I'll just hide the drawings. But simply enough, this yellow line is the price the price and when do I want to get in a longer term trade? This is Axie. I like a longer term trade like Atom, where Atom has been uptrending, and you could have bought this little escalator startup right on those EMAs, or you could have waited and bought when the 10-day, the green line crossed over the 50 and the 200. So like my strategy is pretty simple. All I'm looking for is these EMAs to line up in the correct order. So the correct order for a bullish move would be red on the bottom, blue in the middle, green on top, right? When it's the opposite, you see the green was to the bottom side of the blue and then dropped to the bottom side of the red, and it continued to sell off. As long as the green was on top, the price stayed moving up. So you don't want to be buying when the green is on top and it's been on top for a while. You want to be looking for the entries once we start to see that pattern again. So they were below when the red is high, this one right here at the top, when the red is high, the end is nigh. And when the green's on top, you stand to gain a lot. So once that 10-day crosses over right here, and they're lined up again, red on the bottom, blue in the middle, green on top, took an entry here or here or here off of that 10-day, and you could have got that whole spike. Same thing there. 10-day crossed over the 50, sold off, crossed over that blue line, crossed down to the red line. And what happened? Once it crossed back above the red line and back above the blue line, as soon as it crossed right there, went up from $30 to $43. So this simple pattern, that is what you need to look for to know what's going to go up short term. The moving averages are 3 exponential moving averages. I use the red one is the 200-day, the blue one is the 50-day, the green one is the 10-day or 9-day, depends on which one you want to use, doesn't really matter that much. But those EMAs, all they simply are, I've just simplified the trading down to what it is, and there's going to be a video out on that soon with a song that my wife wrote. You guys will enjoy. It's going to be very nice. And yeah, so but all these EMAs are the price calculated over a time span, and that shows like the way it should be moving off of that averaged out calculation. So the red being a 200-day moving average is 200 days worth of information, so it's a lot of information. The blue one is 50 days worth of information, so a medium amount of information, and the 10-day is going to be your shortest amount of information, so it rides very close to the price. It is going to act like a magnet when it is above. When the price is above the 10-day, you see it always tends to pull back to that green line, even if the price is moving up. And then once that cracks, the 50-day will act as the same next. So they just kind of act as support and resistance and show you the price flow. But that's all if you want to get real difficult. But if not, you can keep it real simple. When the red is high, the end is nigh. When the blue's in the middle, it's probably going to fiddle. And when the green's on top, you stand to gain a lot. And that's really all you got to know, to be honest. So the red one is the 200-day. We're getting more people coming in as I'm doing this lesson, asking same things. But it's the 200-day. 200-day exponential moving average. The blue line is the 50-day. Actually, I've got it set at 61. But normally I'd have it at the 50-day, and you see as I change it, the 50-day gets a little tighter. So I would say the 50-day Yeah, I just used the 50-day. There's no reason to do the 61. I was experimenting with that. And then this green one is the 10-day, or I had it set to 26, but if I put it back to 10-day, it's, you know, it rides it a lot tighter on a higher time frame. But still, it's the same thing. Once the 10-day and once it lines up like this, 200 on the bottom, 50-day in the middle, green, 9 or 10-day on top. That's where the rips come. You can see it on Atom, and you can see it the same single pattern over and over again on everything, as long as it has enough days for the 200. Like Gods token has not been out 200 days, so the 200-day moving average is not going to be accurate because it doesn't have 200 days worth of information to calculate. So newer coins like that, it's not going to be as effective with the 200. You're more or less looking at the 50-day in that case as the bottom. And you can actually see on the daily chart here of Gods, the 200 is not even showing up. So right now the green is down to the downside, but it's quite a ways down. So more than likely we would see some type of pullback up to that 50. See the same thing on Luna. What do you see there? I'll say it again. When the green's on top, you stand to gain a lot. When the 50's in the middle, you're probably going to piddle. There's that sideways movement. And when the red is high, the end is nigh. So that red was above all of those. And then as soon as you cross over, boom. Look at that. So Luna's still extremely bullish with that 50-day. Matic. Look at Matic on the daily chart. Green's on top. It's climbing up. Blue, red. OMG. OMG on the daily. Been down to the bearish side. So way down here. So until OMG crosses back over, it could still sell off. Or the blue's in the middle. So it's probably going to fiddle. Let's see, I got a lot of stuff here going on. Ethereum gas fees really high. They're always high. Gods token hopefully going to take me out of the hood. I mean, hey, I don't know what the ceiling is on Gods. I just compare it to Axie because they have a lot of similarities, especially in the tokenomics. But playing Gods myself and learning how that whole ecosystem works has really, really caught my attention a lot and has made it a everyday thing where I'm looking at the NFT marketplace and all of that, because you can trade and make money just off of trading NFTs in the marketplace. There's just so many ways to make money with Gods. It's stupid. Let's see. Looking at the index last 50 days was interesting. Okay. Abdul, I know you got your 4 that you always look at. Rev and Iman, BCUG, and Mega. I do want to look a little bit more into the Rev one because I was thinking more about that renting out. Well, I guess it's not renting out, but people using the racetrack NFT that you have bought and them having to pay a fee to you to play on that racetrack is really cool. 10-day, 50-day, 200-day. The red one is the 200-day. The colors really don't matter. This is kind of like what most people color these. A lot of just like the default colors for most. So I mean, you could change the colors to whatever you wanted, but that 10-day, the shorter time frame is what's got to be on top, and then the 200 at the bottom. Let's see. So by logic, it looks like at least level. No problem. Most incomplete game yet. Yeehaw might be a big hit. Oh, so yeah. Yeah, that's the same exact same thought process, me. Exact same thing I think about it. The fact that it's not NFTs of pictures. It's NFTs of trading cards, and trading card games like Magic and Pokemon, all of that have done fantastically well. And this new way of having a TCG where there's actually true ownership over the cards and even pieces of the game, and the ability to vote on governance proposals on how the game goes and how the funds are allocated, instead of some corporation deciding all that, is pretty incredible. And yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. So F1 Delta, has esports gotten a cover F1 Delta? Let's take a look here. Let's see. Tony G spends 77,000 on F1 Delta Time Esports Dream. F1 Delta Time sells another 2 million of cars and tracks. Oh, Formula One actually is the ones who released F1 Delta Time. Wait a minute. Let's see. No. Formula One did not release this game. This is what I was trying to remember. It is Anamaka Brands who are over this game because they have the official Formula One license to be able to make it. So they got the license. So that must mean that even with the license, it has to be a case where they signed off for people to own these pieces of the game, since they are all licensed content. Man, that's another weird thing about Rev. But yeah, if you're new to the channel and you haven't checked this project out, it's one we've been looking at. Abdul is very big on it, but I'm pretty iffy on it still. If you know about it, let me know your thoughts on it. If you don't, you'd like to see more or have more questions, because you can stake. I mean, there's a lot of weird things. I may have to spend a day and just do like a whole review video, because there's so much to this game at the moment. Yeah, look at that. Gods is already bouncing some more. It's already almost up to 340 right now. Little inverse, almost inverse head and shoulders, but it's got the double bottom where it's not really a head. But yeah, it looks like looks like Gods may go on up to 4 if it continues at the rate it is. Yeah. But let's check Rev. Let's see what it looks like with these EMAs. So on the daily chart, yeah, Rev is still real bearish because it's below all EMAs. The 50 even just crossed. So now that 200 day is quite a ways up there. So need to see it come back up. It's not a, I mean, for this cheap of a coin or token, whatever it is, 8 cents is a big move for it to get back above these EMAs. But compared to the moves that this thing has made previously, 8 cents is really not that big of a move. Because this whole entire move back here was from 8 cents all the way up to 60 cents. There's another one there from 5 cents all the way up to 30 cents. So if it can hold where it's at, there could be a very strong bounce. But it's got to get back above that 200. See, I mean, both of these, you'll see it happen as it's happening. Once the 10 days starts pointing up, coming back across the 200. So it's either oversold and people are going to buy it at this area, or people are not going to buy it and it's going to drop more. Because it could drop to 5 cents. That is the next strong support area. So I mean, same thing. It's not really changed much though. I mean, it looks like it's going to try to bounce. Let's see. Oh man, you had a chance to, yeah. If you had a chance to get in Gods 2 years ago, man. Seeing some of those NFT prices. Whew. But you know, that's how it goes. That's how it is with investing. There's plenty of times where I've seen plays. I talk about this all the time. You can actually see the videos I've done last year on the Framework Fortune Home channel of Axie when it was at $2 and Mana when it was like at 99 cents or 50 cents, something like that. And I didn't get into them. And I was saying they had a good chance to go up, and I just didn't get into them. So that's why now I didn't. As soon as I found Gods, I didn't hesitate. I was like, I'm not missing another one of these NFT games explode and me call it out and not be a part of it. That's like the worst thing when you call something out and then you didn't buy any of it. And you're like, wow, that was really dumb of me. My technical analysis was completely right if I would have just trusted it. So this is that one play ribbon. It's hard to say on that one. That's another one that's new. But I tell you what, let's go through, and you can use this on any time frame. Of course, remember, the longer the time frame, the stronger the indicators, the EMAs, the blue and red and green line, and also the stronger your support, which is your floors, and the ceilings, which is resistance. I mean, you can see this was a perfect ceiling on Robin right here. Peak there, peak there, peak there, just flattened out straight across there. And until it broke out over that flat ceiling peak, it didn't move up. So let's just look and see if we can find a convergence on a short time frame, because that's kind of what it is when those EMAs line up the correct way. Let's go check Bitcoin real quick, see how it's doing though. Oh yeah, look at that bounce so far on the 5-minute. Bitcoin hit that trend line, but has already shot back up. You can see the 10 days pull back above the 50 here on the 5-minute. So yeah, if the price can get back above the 200 here, and the 10-day and the 50 all line back up above Bitcoin, with Bitcoin above them, just like back right here, and we could see it bounce. So it is holding. Yeah, Ethereum too. Ethereum trying to hold still. Still need a little bit more time to see it, but they're trying. But yeah, let's look for a little scalp. So we got AMP. That one has been downtrending pretty much all day. Where's our top gainers at? Wow, damn, Pro is still running. So Pro just broke the new highs up to 473 on Bitcoin. But yeah, see, if we could have caught this right here, 10-day cross back over the 50, and then we got a nice big spike from, what was that, $3 all the way up to 473, and then it came back down, made a double bottom off the 50-day, off the blue line, before it just made this huge $1.40 move. So we need to wait for a pullback. If this thing can pull back down to that 350 area, or maybe even 4, and bounce off of that 10-day, that could be a possible play. REQ. Now we are starting to possibly get some crossover action here. Put a little pink on it. TREU just started pushing up. But we kind of missed that one. So we're running into all this previous peaks on the 5-minute chart for Gods. But that entry was right there to get into it, back into it at 325. The 337. I'm gonna wait for a little pullback on that. IOTA. See, SHIB's under the 200, so nothing there. Spell dropping at the moment. This looks like this may be a possible play on Doge right here. Starting a little convergence. Let's see. The Doge, though, I just don't like Doge, but it... Now, even if it does pop back above there, it's probably not going to move very fast, so I'm not even going to look at Doge, actually. Yeah, REQ is getting... It's getting very close. That may be... possibly get what? Let's see, last time it popped up 29 to 37. So I want to see this 10-day pull back above, or this green line pull back above by the yellow line and cross over both of these. So maybe I'll be get a little swing. We maybe get a little trade here. could buy 2,000 of them. So if it moved 5 cents, that would be, what, $100? So let's watch this close. I want to see if it's going to continue to hold here. Oh, let me see. No, I haven't looked into sim racing yet. Oh, well, actually, I talked about Bitcoin and Ethereum earlier, but we can go check them real quick. I'm just looking to see if I can get a trade on REQ here while I'm streaming. Yeah, that's very close. Look at that on the 4 hour there. But no, I'll go. Yeah, I got in that one. So let's go back. Where you at, Bitcoin? There's Bitcoin. So we're just looking for Bitcoin to rebound. It is bearish on the 4 hour. But you can really see it good there on the 1 hour though. But you can see where it keeps bouncing off of the uptrend. Like if I scale out of this and go to a higher time frame, you'll see this uptrend. But right now I'm in a shorter time frame to see if it's going to hold because it's continually testing the support. Same thing with Ether at the moment. With this little uptrend, it's kind of starting. But the overall uptrends, let me go to a week chart. This is a higher time frame. That previous time frame was an hour chart. Okay, this is a week chart. So this goes back quite a bit of time. But you can see on Ethereum, it's just now coming down to that 50-day and also this uptrend on there. So there's a lot of support for Ethereum to bounce here. So both Ethereum and Bitcoin, while they looked like they may have cracked or may have looked like we were about to drop some more, so far they're still holding up. And there's good reason for that. And they probably will hold up. But, that's why I'm monitoring it at this moment because it is that close that I'm having to look at it on a 1 hour chart. But just need to see them, those EMAs line back up the way they're supposed to. So I want to go back into that 5-minute chart. You can see how close we are to that 10-day getting back over both the 50 and the 200. But until we see it, we don't want to go. We go now. If I was to jump in this now, it could just, pull back below the 200-day and would push these other two back down. But it is very close to a little bit of convergence on the 5-minute. So what was the other one you said, Abdul? You said sim racing? And sim racing is another NFT game? Oh boy, there's a lot of stuff on that. Real quick while I'm waiting on a trade, for anybody out there who doesn't know anything or know how to make an NFT or any of that, but you're interested in it, if you're just doing like art NFTs, maybe you want to give a try to sell some of that stuff. If you start an account with OpenSea, and this is my wife's account, she's got a couple of things she's posted on here. But if you go to OpenSea and start you an account, you just go to create, and then whatever the image is, or video or audio or 3D model, you can upload it here, type in the name, give a description, all of that. You know, if you want to add more content or any of that stuff. And then you can put your supply of how many you want and what blockchain. You can either go through Ethereum or Polygon. I would say go through Polygon, as it is a lot cheaper as a gas-free blockchain than Ethereum itself. And then once you fill all that out, you just press create, and it will bring you to another page where you can actually list it on the OpenSea marketplace. Now, of course, for using this feature, OpenSea is going to take a little bit of the fee for your sales, but you know, you can start building a business of selling NFTs pretty simply. It's, you know, it's pretty cut and dry, unless you're, as far as like the pictures and all that type of stuff, or art, if you're an artist. But just something to take a look at. Excuse me. And that's OpenSea.io. Abdul, you think that's where the metaverse is going, or metaverse gaming is going, towards the racing? Or you just agreeing with me in general about the NFT gaming in general? So still nothing there. Pros and is one that I'm going to try to look for a trade on, but I want to see it come down some more. I want to see it drop down to that 50-day, possibly get a bounce off of there. Maybe even lower, like 350. Yeah, 350 looks pretty good. We'll see. But there's our uptrend. See where, yeah, 350 is about where the uptrend is now. So yeah, if Pro could come down to 350, 360 and hold that area, it may be another possible play later. Not many games feel as real as racing on a simulator. Well, that's the thing though, with VR, there's a lot of games that can feel pretty real. Like, I use the Oculus Quest. I have the first one or whatever, because I don't need it for that much, but I use it to exercise. Like, I'll put that thing on and do some rounds of Beat Saber, or some boxing, some stuff like that. And you know, I break a sweat and get to breathing. Like, it actually is really good exercise, and it's not boring exercise. Some people probably out there like me, you're like, oh, you just want to do bench presses all day. This is so monotonous. You know what I mean? When you could be actually, you know, boxing somebody in VR and honing your boxing skills for one, but also getting exercise. So I think the racing simulator is definitely cool for the racing stuff, but VR was going to encapsulate all of it. I mean, Gods Unchained could easily incorporate VR, and then you could be right there in a room playing against your friends, or they could make it a big arena, and you could be, you know, like Yu-Gi-Oh or something, where you're throwing your cards down and you're seeing all the interactions of the battlefield in the middle and your opponent's on the other side throwing his cards down, and it would all be in VR, and it could be crazy. I mean, it just could be with any game at this point, because that's how close we are to the VR world being pretty much all of gaming, or either VR or augmented reality AR, one of the two, or both. So look at that on our AQ. I haven't got in it yet. It's cracked back below the 200, back below the red line. 10 days still hasn't even got over the 50, so got to wait to see that confirmation. Was it Limpo? Limpo? Well, you'd be finding some crazy stuff. Is this a coin? Limpo coin? Let's see. Limpo market price today. Limpo, here we go. CoinGecko. Limpo.io. #1 sports NFT minting platform. Stake Limpo market tokens, LMTs, and mint exclusive sporting NFTs of real-life sports stars, world champions, influencers, enthusiasts, esports teams, and more. So, oh, they got hacked. Our monitoring system has detected LMT token transfer from the hacker's wallet address and took the second snapshot. If you purchase LMT tokens now, we will not offer compensation with the new tokens. The old LMT token will become a play-to-earn token to Limpo's upcoming game, or Limpo. I bet it's Limpo. But it will not have the same utility as previously. The utility of the LMT token will change, and it will be traded. So stuff is going on with this thing. Yeah, here's a quick overview. This is for, looks like the pools. Select the pool. Each pool has a unique NFT collection ranging from all the things we talked about. Load your digital wallet with Limpo market tokens, stake them in the chosen pool. Receive credits. The daily credit amount varies between 175 and 17.5 and is based on the LMT staked. Spend your credits and receive NFTs. The price is based on the rarity of the given card. I ain't connecting my wallet while I got this hacker stuff going on. So there's some of the Rev stuff on the Polygon network. Blockchain Heroes, esports, which is coming soon, and then the Sandbox NFTs. So what exactly? So this is, okay, I get it. It's a platform for, of course, people to stake and all of that. But the main idea of this platform is to bring in people, athletes, famous people, all of that, and allow them to create their own NFTs. Like Eddie Hall, the Beast here, the strongman competition. You don't see trading cards for strongman competition, but now you can, this is a way where some of these sports, or maybe they didn't have this type of way to monetize. Now they have that way. Although Anthony Pettis is from the UFC, so if they're getting big stars like that, that could be something interesting. Yeah, so here's some of the athletes. You do have a poker player there. Ice skater. A couple of people are already on the platform. Okay. Well, she actually moves a little bit. They all move a little bit. Yeah, they do. So these are like moving cards. I'm looking for somebody that I know. I'm not that big in the sports. So I just don't have enough time to keep up with it all. I've heard of Eddie Hall. Oh, there's Tony G right there. He's got his own. Here's the Anthony Pettis ones. So there's not a ton of athletes who have endorsed this yet. Only a handful. But these are the polls. I'm trying to figure out. It says this is rare, this is uncommon, that's common, this is a legendary. That's it's probably because he looks like he's going legendary Super Saiyan. Okay, this is a weird thing. Let's see. So you can stake your NFTs. How to stake NFTs. Okay, I want the white paper. Where's the white paper? Let's go back to CoinGecko first. So there's 1 billion total supply, 843 million in circulating supply. Let's see this white paper. Ooh, doesn't have the white paper. Scary. Okay. Where's your white paper at on your website then? I don't like it. I don't like it when they hide their white papers. Why are you hiding the white papers? So they do have some type of auction, NFT auctions going on. So that Anthony Pettis right there is for sale. Okay, so apart from being the digital collectibles, each NFT can be used in various ways. You can receive additional benefits like merch or a meet and greet, stake NFTs to farm star tokens, LMT, or partner tokens, use NFTs, and well, that's just, how are you going to, I guess that one game, they do have that one blockchain game that's going with it. So yeah, I was just mentioning OpenSea. It looks like you can do Binance, NFTs on Binance as well. But I would really, really like to see those white papers. This is another Animoca brand. Abdul, are you working for Animoca brands? Every coin you suggest is from Animoca. Starting to see a pattern here. Or maybe you're onto something, you know, you may be onto something. with this Anamaka. They're doing quite a bit, putting a lot of things out there. But that hack thing is real concerning. I mean, that's the first time I'm seeing this project, so they just got hacked, and I'd like to know why. Just like I'd also like to see their white papers so I can understand it better. Because I'm not getting excuse me, because I'm not getting an idea of how the tokenomics works with this. Like, obviously it's the main utility token, but other than yeah, just talking about play to earn and all that stuff. Let me see what I can find on CoinGecko about it. See what this says. Limpo has collected more than, what is that, 5.5 million in the first 7 days of its token pre-sale. We are backed by the biggest blockchain names such as Sonic Zang. These other guys, I don't know who they are. Let's go pull this up on Live Coin Watch and see what the supply is. Or not the supply, but let's see if we can see how many holders there are of this. What is it? LMT? Yeah, Limpo Market Token. So this just came out, it looks like. Let's see. 7-day. That's January 11th. 30-day back to December 20th. 90-day. October. Okay, this has been out a while. Year to day. Whoa. What am I seeing here? I'll go to the year to day. Go to all. What is wrong with your cart? Your chart? You know what? Fine. I'll just pull you up on here. So there is multiple pairs of this Limpo token against other Animoco brands like Rev, Sand. That makes sense. We don't have a US dollar chart. So, I mean, we're only comparing it to the cost of Ethereum because it's wrapped Ethereum, so that ain't gonna work. I just want to know how long this thing has been out. Let's see if I can find that. Check Limpo on YouTube. Oh, that's another one. You're gonna make me have to dive into all this Anamaka brands, but that's the first thing I'm gonna do is research Anamaka brands deep and find out about them because they are the ones pushing all these ones that you are interested in, and that is what makes me curious. because they are doing a lot. They're putting out a lot of different NFT and crypto and play to earn content all of a sudden. Well, anyway, I think that's about it for me today, guys. We will be back tomorrow around 1:30 p.m. Central for some live Gods Unchained gameplay as I test some decks and try to climb back up in the ranks. And of course, around 4 p.m. Central, we'll be doing the crypto update. So come and join me. If you haven't yet, go check out frameworkfortune.com. It's free signups, no paywalls. I don't want your money, but you can get access to the Discord channel and come join us there for all types of different content, because we cover stock market, gold, silver, indexes, commodities, cryptos, P2E games, especially Gods Unchained, because that's my favorite so far. But yeah, appreciate everybody joining me as always. Stay safe out there. Until next time.